Hey, what's up? It's me, Jessica J, and I was just wondering if you've ever sat and thought to yourself, but Jessica, what signs do women give that show that I'm intimidating? Well, if so, I'm glad you asked because that's what I meant to do for the original video I gave for you last time. So here I am, trying again. Sorry. And to make sure you never miss out on another opportunity to hear even more signs that you are signaling to women that you want nothing to do with us on accident or on purpose or another one of my videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button with the notification bell. And for those of you who are wondering where Tyrion's been, he's right there. Do you see him? Mr. Cutie! Okay, so like I said, last time's video was how to know if you have like a strong, intimidating personality. And I talked more about the signals within yourself. But now I'm going to talk about the feedback you're getting from females that may signal that, yeah, you got a pretty strong personality and we're a little bit scared of you. And make sure you stay till the very end because the last one is one that all my clients never realized was a thing until they practiced talking to my girls in my coaching program where the girls actually said, yeah, I was acting like this because you were really intimidating. And if you know you'd like to get eyes on your interactions with women to hear how you may be coming off to us and how you can better create connections and chemistry, especially with the women you want, apply now while you still can at jessicajdating.com/flirting. Okay, so the first one is she's sweet on you but won't go there with you. So maybe she seems very engaged and is also responding in kind to your flirting, even flirts back, but for some reason she rejects you every time you try to move things forward. I'll say right now that when it comes to men that are super intimidating, whether because we see you as such a great guy or you've got all these amazing qualities on paper that we feel we're not worthy, usually the one thing we'll do is not put out. And it's a really tricky thing to explain. I tried explaining in the last one, but it's like, if we put out, now you've gotten it from us. We have the one thing you don't have and it's our puss. And it's like, well, if I could just hold off on giving him this, I won't succumb and drown to the amazingness that he is. Because at least now I have something he still wants. But once he gets it, it's like, what if he doesn't want me forward from there? And that is a lot for a woman to take, that an amazing, perfect man has gotten what he wanted from us and now no longer wants us. So if you are super intimidating and you've got a lot going for you, you've got a super strong presence and personality, yeah, we will dangle the carrot, for lack of a better term. But again, it does come from this place of, oh my God, I might not be worthy. And you know, living where I do, I've come across extremely high-powered men, famous men, celebrities, and if they had too much going for them, you bet your ass I didn't put out. Which then brings me to the second one, which is she can't look you in the eye. Again, it becomes one of those things where looking you in the eye might completely undo us. It's like with anything when we're intimidated by somebody, it's like, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. That's really what it boils down to. It's like we can't bring ourselves to meet you at your level because we don't see ourselves on your level. Now, I'm not even just talking about qualities. You might come off as an extremely charming, confident, charismatic man. That to us is a very strong personality. That's a very intimidating personality for any woman. And that's even more so if that's just who you are, whether or not you're talking to an attractive woman. Which then brings me to the third one, which is she probably seems pretty tense around you. Again, when we are in the presence of greatness, anybody, we can all be a little shell-shocked, right? I remember back in the day, Chris Brown was, this is before the Rihanna thing. Actually, no, it was a little after, I'm ashamed to say. But Chris Brown showed up at a party I was at, and I was so like, I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even interact with the guy, and he was so nice. He was like, come here, let's take a selfie. And I was just like, what's a selfie? I was just so, oh my God, blown away. So when we are just in the presence of, again, greatness, something we perceive as so unattainable and so amazing, it's enough to get anybody shutting down their bodies. Like a lot of you guys, when you're in the presence of women that you see are so unbelievably attractive, that's where your approach anxiety comes from. Because what happens is the brain now separates us as I am this person and they are this amazing thing that I can't relate to at all. And I have to prove myself. So that's where nerves kick in. Same thing with eye contact. We're like, I can't. Which then brings us to the fourth one I already mentioned is we get a little starstruck. I'm talking, she can't keep her cool. She's fumbling her words and her conversation. She seems like she has ADHD. Maybe she's even fueling the conversation frantically. Even if she is quiet, she's a little, again, it's one of those things where our bodies, we just no longer have control over our bodies. In fact, this is what my former assistant Clayton talks about in this video right here, which is called the override effect, where our emotions override our rational thinking brain. But this is in a good way. When you get a woman attracted to you, when you can create chemistry and sparks with a woman, we no longer have rational thinking. This is kind of like the opposite, where you are overriding her rational brain in a way that is shutting down and keeping her from being able to even think straight or move or do anything at all. The emotions you're overriding her rational brain with in this situation is nervousness, anxiety, feelings of inferiority. But again, you will see a lot of those behaviors where like the brain and body are now shutting down because we're in freeze mode, where we're like, they're so amazing. What do I do? Which then brings me to the fifth one, which is the exact opposite, which is she tries to play it too cool, but she's always around. I'll tell you right now, if we think you're super intimidating and you have a super strong, intimidating personality, a lot of people, women specifically in this scenario, will try to overcompensate the starstruckedness and be like, oh no, I'm like way too cool for this guy, I swear. But I'm not. So it's like she'll try to play it aloof, she'll try to play it like she's not interested, like she's not affected by you at all, but she's also always around because she probably still wants to be chosen by you. So maybe she kind of acts cold and distant, doesn't laugh at any of your jokes, doesn't try to engage in conversation with you, also probably not looking you in the eye, but also she's still always around. I remember back in the day, I was at this party in Vegas, and mind you, I'm a good-looking chick hanging with my guy friends who have bottle service. I forget the club. So I didn't want to look like all these other bottle rats, I think you call them. What an awful term. I didn't want to look like all these other groupies because I was actually there with the guy. And I remember my one friend's friend, super fucking fine, retired by 25, multi-millionaire. I was like, oh my God, this guy's so fucking sexy. And every time he tried to talk to me, I was like, oh. And I would just like sit on my phone, but I always made a point to be next to him and just like flip my hair as much as possible because all the other girls there were throwing themselves at him. So I was like, oh my God, I can't be that girl. I gotta play too cool. And sure enough, by the end of the night, he ended up knocking on my suite. And I still didn't put out because I was like, no, I can't be that girl. See, number one. Okay, now the last one, which I alluded to in the beginning, which is something that a lot of my clients didn't realize was actually a sign until they heard it from my girls themselves. So I'll tell you right now, to work with me, it does cost a bit for some people. So I tend to get clients who are very well off financially, very intelligent, own their own businesses, well-traveled, cultured, and then they'll be like, I don't get why all these women throw themselves at me, but they also don't want me later on. So I had this one client, again, super fucking interesting man, speaks 7 languages, has traveled the world, retired by, I think 40, plays like 4 instruments, goes to plays and shit. Anyway, and I think he's been to more countries than me, probably like 70 countries. This man, my other clients dubbed him the world's most interesting man. But when he would get into conversations with women, the women would constantly ask questions about him, about his life, about the things he's done, where he's gone, craziest things he's ever seen, craziest shit he's ever done. And he would happily be like, oh yeah, this, and this. And oh yeah, this, and this. He was very happy to play that role of, I am an amazing, interesting, intimidating guy. I'll answer all your questions. But it only made the girls feel even more intimidated by him the more they asked and the more he answered. Which brings me to the 6th sign, which is she doesn't talk about herself at all to you. And one thing one of my girls brought up was, you seemed so interesting. I knew that there was nothing I could say that would make you interested in me. And because you didn't ask, it kind of confirmed that you didn't want to know anything about me anyway. And I probably wasn't interesting to you. Because here's the thing, if you are so intimidating and you have that strong of a personality and you have that amazing of a life, yeah, we will turn you into this superstar and question you. And no, enough about me. Like, I want to know more about this. Again, it's our way of not having to show that we can't measure up. And it's our way of kind of building you up even more so that you don't have to find out that we're not good enough. So if you catch yourself in a conversation with a woman who is happy to ask you even more and more and more about your life and hasn't divulged a single thing about herself, that probably means that she thinks you don't want to know because you are an intimidating person who's way better than her. So if you have a feeling that this might be how you're coming off, let us take a look at how you interact with women by practicing practicing with my girls to get feedback from us on what we see and how the girls feel after that interaction. And let's guide you along the way to creating those connections, to creating that chemistry, because only then will you be able to find women worthy of you, is if you hear about women who are or aren't on your level. But it takes creating those connections and first knowing how to create those connections faster to be able to find those women. So like I said, apply now if you haven't at jessicajdating.com/flirting, or you can click on the link in the description, or you can click on this link here. And be on the lookout for these 5 signs, because chances are if you're watching this video, you probably are intimidating at least a little bit. And that's okay, and that's fine. And if you'd still like to create connections and chemistry with women as an awesome, amazing, intimidating man, don't forget to apply right here. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I'll see you next time.